Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast that pays tribute to the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan. It is Lost in the Midcard, a special Tuesday edition. We are coming to you live, fresh off an emotional Monday Night Raw from Seattle, Washington. Why we're coming at you on Tuesday, unfortunately, thanks to the old blizzard that came through a little over a week ago. I had a postponed my travel plans to this week, and I had to get the trip in before Friday to be able to still use it. So we're going to come at you Tuesday, and of course we got hit with a quite a slap in the face of reality earlier today, which we'll get into here in just a moment. As always, I'd like to thank SpiderDuck.net for enabling us to be on iTunes or any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you need to do is go in there and search for Lost in the Midcard and subscribe to us. Every Thursday, typically, and Monday after a pay-per-view, we come out with a new show. We are also subscribable on YouTube, and both of those links are found on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. As always, I am joined by my co-host. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. He is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime, back from the sick bug, and what an interesting time to come back, Matt. But Mr. Matt Black, welcome. I'm not going to ask you how you're doing today because I already know the answer to that. But
well, at least you already know the answer to that.
Yeah, welcome,
welcome
JB.
Back. You're a real fucking heel. To be scheduled this damn vacation, so it just so happened that we had to record. If we were going to record it all this week for the people, we had to record right after Raw and all this week. And I'm like, I'm cool with that. Whatever. You know, we've done after shows before. We do it after the pay-per-view. Whatever. You know, if it's a great show, we have something great to talk about. If the show sucks, we can laugh about how bad it was. And then this afternoon happened. And I hated your face all damn day that we have to do this right now.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough one. Especially after what transpired. And we'll try to go into it a little more detail. And then maybe next week, after some time has passed, Matt and I can reflect on the career of Daniel Bryan, as I don't think we're going to be able to do so tonight. That's going to be a little tougher. And obviously, once we get to Fastlane, we'll pay tribute to Daniel Bryan in our 5 count. Our 5 count will be our favorite Daniel Bryan moments of his career within NXT and WWE. So yes, that is the top headline today. Unfortunately, Daniel Bryan tweeted this afternoon on Twitter: due to medical reasons effective immediately, I am announcing my retirement tonight on Raw. I will have a chance to elaborate. #gratitude. Immediately everybody thought, well, hey, okay, maybe this is a work, maybe this is setting up WrestleMania for something. But unfortunately, a couple hours later, Mike Johnson from PW Insider kind of squashed that and said for the many people that emailed into PW Insider asking if this was an angle or not, unfortunately it's not the case, and that the announcement is very much legitimate and real. Then kind of goes into we're not sure, just some what if games, if it's WWE retiring him, if it's Daniel Bryan retiring himself. Unfortunately, and he also went on to say that WWE has given Bryan the forum to speak on the announcement tonight, and Mike Johnson said he suspected that it'd be much like Edge's retirement, which in a way it was, but in a way it was a lot more emotional. Matt, when you saw the tweet first thing, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
It's a work.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. First, why announce it on Twitter? for that to come out of nowhere like that, I was sure it was a work until Coach from ESPN very emphatically stated on Twitter that this was not a work. And then anything after that, anybody who wanted to fantasy book what was going to happen or whatnot, I wasn't hearing any of it. I knew once Coach said it wasn't a work, I knew it wasn't a work. Because WWE can do a lot of stupid shit, but they're not going to bite the hand of ESPN. If they tell the people at ESPN, hey, Daniel Bryan's retiring, we want to have him on the Sports Center gimmick Tuesday night, they're not going to bring him out to do a fake retirement because you're just going to piss ESPN off. So I knew at that point it was legit when Coach said it was.
Yeah, I was holding out hope for a long time, but then at the tail end on the very final piece they did on Daniel Bryan, they showed all the publications that were shown, and a lot of them were pretty respectable publications, and so that's when the reality set in for me that nope, I'm not going to get a big swerve. I'm not going to hear a gong. I'm not going to hear the Undertaker coming out. I'm not going to see. Who knows? I mean, to face Daniel Bryan at that point, the only thing I was thinking of was maybe the Undertaker, and
yeah, a lot of people were saying that. I was just like, no, I knew there wasn't any way.
Yeah. So one last thing on this before we'll cover the retirement speech and everything here at the end of our show tonight. But one final piece on it. Backstage, there were signs posted all throughout the arena encouraging the talent to go on social media and address his retirement using the hashtag Thank You Daniel Bryan. And there were a ton of tweets and Instagram and all sorts of stuff from not just the roster, but people everywhere, celebrities everywhere as well, and so it's unfortunate, but I guess we'll go ahead and just say this now. It's not the WWE forcing his hand to where, okay, well, he's just going to go to Ring of Honor. No. Matt had heard this earlier this afternoon, and it was confirmed that he had some tests in New York done about a week and a half ago, confirming, well, not everything is okay with your head. You may be at some major risk if you get another concussion. So Daniel Bryan took those words to heart, processed it in his brain, and he went through the whole litany of emotions when he gave his retirement speech. But yes, so that's the unfortunate truth. But at the same time, Daniel Bryan has got a family and wants to build on that family. So
I'm just happy he went out on his own terms.
Yeah, me too.
Happy that he wasn't forced, into retirement that he didn't want to do. Just the fact that you could tell that this was his decision, and whatever this latest doctor in New York had to tell him was enough to open his eyes to go, you know what, maybe it's time to step away. And I'm sure in the days and weeks to come, we're going to hear more about these tests that came out of New York, and we'll know more about what he found that startled him so bad that convinced him to do this. But yeah, he made the choice that was right for him, and he got to go out on his terms in his way. So how can you say anything bad about it? He did what he had to do. And I mean, this was quiet. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported probably no more than like 20 minutes ago that the announcement was so closely guarded that he was told no one within WWE beyond a very small inner circle knew about the retirement until Bryan sent out that tweet this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently WWE production was scrambling all day to get these video tributes done, which is, again, one hell of a testament to WWE video production.
Yeah, they did a hell of a job.
They were able to put all this stuff together today in such a short amount of time. Because, I mean, he tweeted that this afternoon, you know, Raw went on the air like 6 to 7 hours later, and they had all this stuff, you know, ready to go. You know, kudos to all those people in production that were able to do this. It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah, those tributes they did all throughout Raw tonight. There was quite a few of them, and it was great. And of course, the first one to start the night off was definitely a sad one. But then they went on to show some of the great moments of his career, and we'll go through those. But let's step away from Daniel Bryan for just a moment. Let's try to clear our heads. Let's try to talk about men who wrestle in their underpants and get out of reality for a few minutes.
Stop.
Oh, will you stop? Try to get away from reality for a few minutes before we come back and break down what happened Friday night. Some major news coming out of TNA, and very swift after they sent Awesome Kong home from the UK tour after an incident involving Ruby Sky. TNA has announced that they have released Awesome Kong again. And
I'm going to try to be a smartass throughout this entire show, Jamie.
Do it, man.
I apologize to anybody who doesn't like it when I'm being a smartass or whatever, but you know, I feel I got to laugh to keep from crying on this show, and I'm gonna be a smartass tonight, people. So just warning y'all ahead of time.
Realest guys in the room, how you doing?
Yeah.
So this was a personal issue. It sounds like going years back on social media. So, you surprised that they dropped Kong?
You had to.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Colin would have done to Rebby anywhere else other than a professional wrestling locker room, she probably would have been arrested for assault.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are people saying that there were marks that could be visibly seen on Rebby's throat after Colin was ripped off of her. She's lucky that Rebby doesn't press charges. She should just be happy she just lost her job at this point. And it sucks because I love Colin. But obviously she's got some anger issues that she needs to work out. Because this is the second time her temper has costed her a roster spot at TNA.
Mm-hmm. Yep, first one was with
Bubba the Love Sponge, yep.
Yeah, maybe we can get her Dr. Shelby, and then she can come back to the WWE.
Yeah, I think WWE probably sees this as like, yeah, we ain't touching that. They don't want that. I don't feel they want that in their locker room.
It's like TNA dropped her. Seriously, WWE is gonna want her.
Well, WWE picked her up the first time because, you know, the first time was more. He beat up a DJ on a TV lot, you know, for running his mouth about, I think it was like Hurricane Sandy or Katrina or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, Bubba's kind of a douche anyway.
And she got pissed and went at him and beat his ass, you know. But this time in the actual locker room, it's just, I can't see him. I can't see him going with her again. You know, they already had her once and they let her go, and we really don't know why, because it was never really explained. You know, she went out because she was pregnant, and then she came back as a surprise in the Royal Rumble, and then we never saw her again. So I mean, what happened there? Why was she let go? What happened? You know.
Yeah, it's very
so
weird.
Obviously there's still some stories there that have remained untold, and there's probably a reason why she was released to begin with. So
in the I was right file, or hey, I just guessed right file, whatever you want to call it, Mike Johnson, PW Insider, said that he had heard from multiple sources the same thing that I had speculated with Batista for WrestleMania. He was when he was at backstage, he was pitched by Vince McMahon to be the special referee for WrestleMania 32, which most likely is going to be Roman Reigns against Triple H unless we really get a swerve. And Batista, obviously, as we have reported, did not agree to the role, but has left the door open. If you give me something good, I will be there. But Matt, I don't think we could really put it on creative to come up with something good at this point, can we?
No, and honestly, Dave's so busy right now anyway that, if you're not going to offer him something really big that he can sink his teeth into creatively, he's not going to come back to do it. He's said on several occasions he doesn't want to come back for the one-shot stuff. And, when he wants to come back, he wants to come back as a part of something. So I don't blame him for saying no. I think using Batista in the role of a referee is kind of wasting Batista. So
it's not needed.
Yeah, I don't blame him for saying no.
No, it's not needed.
I'd rather, if you're going to use him, I'd rather have him as like a ringside enforcer than be there in like a referee shirt. At least do something that makes sense with the Batista character. Batista as a referee,
yeah,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
As we had kind of deduced from the NXT spoilers that we oogled over a couple weeks ago, Enzo and Cass and Carmella were on the road with the WWE this weekend and had appeared at live events, and we're also at the Raw taping tonight and probably SmackDown tomorrow as well. Lots of rumors thinking that they may be used tonight, but unfortunately they weren't. Based on how some of the tag team stuff kind of shook out, it made kind of sense that to hold them off for a week.
This was definitely about the heel turn of the Dudleys tonight.
Yeah, I think I don't know, maybe next week at Raw, maybe SmackDown. I don't know, but the Dudleys
they could debut him on SmackDown tomorrow. They're on the road.
Yeah,
today and tomorrow. So
Dudley's cut a heel promo, and out come Enzo and Cass.
I would not throw them right into that.
Well, I'm just saying that because Dudley's will probably be putting them over anyway. So.
No, I think this is the beginning of a double turn. They're going to push New Day to the face side and Dudley's to the heel, and they're going to reignite that feud. That's just my opinion.
So it'll be interesting to see. SmackDown obviously is going to be taped on today as you're hearing this. So we'll a week from Thursday we will come back and see if we got some good news to tell you about the most over tag team in NXT history, I think. Let's do some speculation here, Matt. WWE has applied for the trademark The Revival. What do you think? Is this pertaining to a wrestler, a movie? They don't really trademark movie titles, do they?
Not that I'm aware of. They said the last time we sat here and talked about a trademark was American Alpha.
Yeah.
So, we all saw where that led to.
Yeah, we thought it was, or I thought it was Apollo Crews, and turned out to be Jordan Gable. Who needs reviving?
I have no clue. Maybe it's going to be something to do with the Wyatt family.
I don't know. And a little bit of house cleaning in NXT this week. Two names that not many are going to really care about, as they have not been used hardly at all in the past week. Sylvester Lefort, who's not been used in a long, long time that I can remember, and Marcus Louis, who they tried to turn him into Mini Kane after he shaved his head. Those guys are both released. Basically, Lefort started as managing. He was kind of a manager, and then he was basically just a manager, and then it kind of disappeared. He hasn't really been seen much over the past few years. And like I said, Louis, he was part of the Legionnaires. And then obviously after the head shaving thing with Enzo and Cass, he kind of turned into that crazy person and was used a couple times. That's it. So probably not going to miss those two guys, are you, Matt?
No, not really. It sucks for Bull, though.
Yeah. The other third guy that was released is Bull Dempsey, unfortunately. Bull took to Twitter on the other day with saying it's been real at WWE NXT, amazing group of coaches and coworkers and a hell of a boss. Thank you for the opportunity, Triple H. I'll see you down the road. Yeah, unfortunate because we both liked Bull. Started to obviously I've seen this a few times of exactly what you repeated. As soon as Kevin Owens got to the company, it was kind of writing on the wall for Bull. That basically stopped his momentum at the same time.
Yeah, it was almost a hand-in-hand thing when he debuted on NXT program, and Bull's push was immediately stopped.
Yep. Yeah, and then once they started kind of dicking around with the bullfit thing, I kind of knew the writing was on the wall eventually. Do you see a possible return ever? Or?
You can never say never in the wrestling business. It's not like he's an old man.
Yeah, he's only 28, so... Where would you like to see him go? Would you Ring of Honor or?
I'd much rather see him in Ring of Honor than TNA.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of other promotions around the world, but
yeah, but on a national stage, there's not.
No. Some sad news. Yet another wrestler taken too soon. It was confirmed, according to a report from PW Insider, that ECW original Axl Rotten tragically passed away at the age of 44. He was found yesterday in a McDonald's next to a hotel where he was believed to be staying. He made his debut in 1988 and was obviously best known for his time in ECW. He was there from 93 to 99, and he was in a feud with his brother Ian, which PW Insider named Feud of the Year in 1995. He also appeared briefly in the WWE, brawling with Blue Ward Order at the One Night Stand pay-per-view in 2005. Did you see much of Axl in your days of watching ECW?
Honestly, I hate to speak ill of the dead, man. I was hoping you weren't even going to bring this guy up. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
I never liked the garbage, the wrestling with the light ball tubes and the barbed wire and the staples and all the shit that him and Ian Rotten did to each other, during that era, Ian Balls Mahoney, and it wasn't healthy for these guys. To put themselves through what they did, and obviously you can see it now, the repercussions of all of that.
Yeah, it's obviously
are coming back to haunt this guy after all this time, and it's just awful.
Yeah,
as I said, I don't want to speak ill. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, so I don't really want to comment much on this, other than I feel bad for his family, and may the guy rest in peace.
Today, light tubes were used in the finale of Lucha Underground when Pentagon Jr. took on Vampiro. But today there's ways around it to make it look good and still be okay. Back then, they were using legit shit and beating the fuck out of each other. So. Let's do some quick ratings recaps. Total Divas down for the second straight week since its debut. Fell down to 840,000 viewers, which is still more than double than TNA.
Almost triple.
Almost triple, because TNA has dropped. To no one's surprise, they have dropped down to 295,000. The peak was 339. That was the show we were both disappointed in. And we both figured that was the end of their constant rise, because they rose every week since their premiere, and we were right. They fell down over 40,000 viewers. So, and the funny thing was the replay got more increased. So people were like, I don't want to see it live, but maybe I'll watch the replay. A few people said that.
A few idiots.
SmackDown dropped slightly, but still healthy. 2.6 million. For the week, actually 2.66, so damn near close to 2.7, which is far more than what they'd been drawing going over the course of well over most of 2015. So far the move to USA has been a slight bump. We still Haven't really seen much in terms of must-see TV outside of the fact that they put AJ Styles on SmackDown, but still they still haven't really quite made it a must-see TV show quite yet. And the Groundhog Day version of Raw fell like a rock. Big 4.09 million viewership on the 25th. They dropped way down to 3.3 million. That was a Raw. I can't think off the top of my head. Just been kind of foggy with the whole Raw from tonight. But yeah, something happened to make Raw fall off on.
Yeah, dude, my brain is so, not sharp right now. I couldn't even begin to tell you what caused the spike from last week. I'm sure if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have been able to give you an answer, but I got nothing right now. I'm sorry.
And I'm sure it's going to be a spike in the other direction next week. I think.
Yeah, you got to think the overrun's going to be really, really big for them this week.
Yeah, and before we get to Real, it's funny. I showed Matt. I go. It was about 9:45, 11 his time. 15 minutes to go till the overrun. And I sent him a copy or a screenshot of my phone where I got a notification from YouTube saying, catch the rest of Daniel Bryan's celebration on YouTube. And both Matt and I probably agreed. We probably thought they're going to cut him off, and how fucking bad would that be? But thankfully it didn't happen, did it, Matt?
No, I honestly, I want to commend. I know I commended the WWE production team earlier for getting all this stuff together that they did in such a short time. I really want to commend the USA Network for giving WWE that open time and letting them go over as far as they did past the 11 o'clock hour. It was very worthwhile.
Let's go to another article here by Mark Madden that caught Matt's eye. I'm not going to go through the entire article like I did with the previous one, but basically, Mark Madden talks about how the NXT smart marks are greater than the WWE smart marks, and what was your biggest kind of take on that, just outside of the fact that you agreed with him?
Just that overall, it seems the NXT audience has a greater respect for what's going on with that promotion than the WWE audience has for what goes on in that promotion. That I don't know. I read that a couple weeks ago, man, and I can't even tell you right now what I really liked about it, but I really did enjoy the article, and it's worth going out of your way to check out. And I know I'm gonna be apologizing all night, guys, because honestly, if it didn't happen on Raw tonight, I'm not really in the best, sharpest state of mind to give my normal thoughts that I normally give on the show. And I apologize to all of you. I can't imagine anybody that's listening to this probably isn't feeling the exact same way that I'm feeling right now, that you guys probably felt the same way I'm feeling right now when Raw went off the air Monday night, but you guys aren't recording the show afterwards, so you just bear with me tonight, and I promise I'll be better next week. We're getting through this together, guys. So
yeah, and thankfully
I'm leaning on Mr. Vacation JB a little bit this week. So,
well, thankfully it's a truncated show due to the simple fact that it is Monday that we're recording when normally we record on Wednesdays. But yeah, Mark Madden did mention like Roman Reigns, and I think you and I are on the same page with Roman Reigns, that the crowd needs to just stop shitting on him.
It's not his fault. It's the way they're booking him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing anything wrong.
I think right now he's being booked okay. But I'm afraid if he wins at or maybe even when he wins at Fastlane, because we almost think it's a foregone conclusion, that I don't know. I'm wondering if the universe will shit on it.
Dean needs to win at Fastlane
Uh,
to
and
protect the long-term career of Roman Reigns. Somehow Dean Ambrose needs to win at Fastlane.
would
And if it's
you?
a Wyatt family Brock Lesnar distraction followed by a Dean Ambrose nut shot on Brock Lesnar and a roll up for a 3 count, so be it. But
Yeah.
and obviously from that point you're gonna have to get the Intercontinental title off of Dean before Mania. Which
Or
obviously you can do that. The Authority can put him in like a gauntlet match, and he has to defend the title until he loses it, or something like that to keep Dean looking strong coming out of it anyway. So it doesn't look bad. Like they could have the entire third hour of Raw be like a Dean Ambrose Intercontinental Championship gauntlet match, and like the fifth or sixth person comes out and it's Kevin Owens, and Owens gets the title or something like that. But I feel, to protect Roman, the only smart decision right now is for Dean to win at Fastlane, unless they somehow triple threat Mania with Triple H, Roman, and Dean. But even then, you're only protecting Roman until he wins the title at Mania. And anytime Roman touches Dean at Mania, he's still going to get booted out of the damn building. So it's a really, they once again fucked up. They fucked up with the Rumble. Roman was on the right track creatively. They fucked him at the Rumble so hard, and now you're back to trying to figure out how to salvage it.
Yeah, because again, we brought this up right after the Raw after the Rumble. Why is Roman Reigns in this match? The Authority made the match. The only thing I can see is he's owed a rematch because he lost the title. But it was just weird how they presented it. Like, we're gonna put Roman in here. We're friends now. Yay!
Yeah, the whole storyline to even create that main event didn't make any sense. Show us what you'll do tonight on Raw to impress us, to put you in the match. Oh, you guys powerbombed Rusev through a table. That's impressive. And you know what? He wasn't here tonight. But there's Brock Lesnar's in there too. Because I'm sure my husband can't wait to face Brock Lesnar again after he broke his arm twice.
Yeah.
The whole thing didn't make creative, decided to collectively shit the bed on a 48-hour period between the Royal Rumble and Raw the next night.
Uh-huh.
And the problem is, I won't say mostly, but a good portion of the audience allowed them to, because everybody was so excited about AJ Styles that you overlooked all the shit booking that they did that made absolutely no sense in that 48-hour time span. AJ Styles was almost like a distraction cloud. He said, everybody look over here, it's AJ. Don't look over here at the bad booking. Look over there, it's AJ. And they just... How could you fuck up that? They fucked up so bad in 48 hours.
Nobody's going to notice except for those marks at Lost in the Midcard.
Yeah.
Them fucking marks.
Yeah, they fucking hate us. It's all right. We hate you too. I hate you, Batista. I hate you too.
That was great. Every once in a while, as I peruse the Q&As from PW Insider League, there's always a good question that really kind of, it says, oh yeah, that's interesting comparison. As this guy here, he asked Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, do you see Triple H as the new Bischoff, signing all these free agents and putting them to work instead of developing new talents? And Mike Johnson said, wow, that is an interesting comparison. You could certainly create a list of similarities since they each signed talents who cut their teeth elsewhere to improve their own companies. But I think Triple H has done far more to create and nurture younger talents than Bischoff ever did. Understatement of the year. I threw that one in, by the way. WCW did create talents, but I think Triple H and his team have done more to create talents who have started in the development system versus what WCW created in the power plant. I think Eric was more reliant on using talents created elsewhere, while Triple H is signing similar talents to help build the talents that are being developed in-house. Sort of a modern-day version of using veterans to help get rookies over. So, in a sense that, yeah, it's not really comparing him to Bischoff, because I don't know. It's a tricky situation, isn't it, Matt? I mean, you are bringing guys that were elsewhere, but at the same time, with like Finn Balor and Kenta or Hideo Itami, I mean, those guys are they're still relatively young. So in a sense, they did cut their teeth elsewhere, but at the same time, they're still kind of developmental in terms of the WWE sense, don't you
This
think?
is just the evolution of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to happen 20 years from now and then another 20 years after that. This is just how things work. Yeah, everybody comes from somewhere. You know, just because you're picking them up from somewhere, I don't honestly, I really don't agree with that comparison at all.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we both agree that Triple H knows what he's doing, and what he's doing is doing it well because it's selling out everywhere. So, well, I was going to ask you this question, Matt, about the Twitter back and forth between Big E and Matt Hardy, but now you got a little more information in regards to the Twitterings of Matt Hardy, don't you?
Oh God, I don't want to talk about the Twitterings of Matt Hardy right now because you know it's one thing to attack people who put an at mention on you. If you're dumb enough when Matt's in full blown heel gimmick mode on Twitter, if you're dumb enough to come at him and at Matt Hardy brand, you deserve anything and everything that he fires back at you. That's just my opinion. You if you message him directly, you are fair game for him to fight, for him to target back. You know, that should be internet rule 101. But if you're speaking just in just in a thought process of why you don't like what Matt Hardy's doing, or you don't like Matt Hardy's gimmick, or you don't like the way he works or whatever, for to be able to state that opinion and then have Matt Hardy come and attack you because he's searching his own name via social media, that's annoying. I like the Hardy Boys. I like Matt Hardy. I'm a fan. But honestly, dude, the dude has almost 1 million followers. I think he gets more than enough mentions a day. Do you really need to be Twitter searching your damn name to be finding these tweets? I'm like, come on, son. And that's not necessary.
We all know you're heel.
You could be using Twitter for much more important things, like my friend Samoa Joe. And I'm just gonna roll right over into this, and I'm gonna try to read this without crying. So it's been one of those emotional nights, so y'all can bear with me. Samoa Joe just put this out no more than like 5 minutes ago. So you guys want a timestamp, you can see what time we're recording this sumbitch. But I just, I feel it's important, and I want to roll it out to everybody that's listening. Anybody that doesn't follow Samoa Joe, anybody that might just miss it, because it's a very long message, and he puts it in a picture graphic, because obviously, Twitter's only 140 characters.
If you would you rather me read it, or
I'm gonna try to do it. We're gonna see how it goes, and if I fall out, JB, I hope you already have it up, and I hope you're ready to cover for me.
I just pulled it up.
All right, I'm gonna go for it here. Joe messaged out. As I sit here tonight, I do so with a mix of emotions. Everything from selfishly profound sadness to relief tinged in understanding. But by far, I feel the very same emotion that Daniel Bryan feels tonight, and that is gratitude. Gratitude that for the better part of my own 16-year career, I've had the pleasure of both working with and, more importantly, knowing Daniel Bryan. To any of who have been lucky enough to share a locker room with him, all would agree that at every stage of his career, Bryan held an amazing level of respect. A respect bred not only for his technical mastery, but also his unquenchable passion for wrestling.
It's a tough word.
I know it's 10 times tougher tonight, my friend. A passion that would literally carry him around the world several times over, both in and out of the WWE ring and into every venue imaginable. No matter if it was a stadium, a dome, a dilapidated industrial warehouse, a gas station, a parking lot, a local VF hall, a Masonic lodge, he never took a night off, and he never gave anything less than his very best. To speak to Bryan personally is to speak of the overwhelmingly positive aura that surrounds him at all times. His uncanny ability to have ridiculously deep and insanely entertaining conversations out of the most mundane of subjects. Above and beyond all those things, to speak of Bryan personally is to speak of his utter selflessness and willingness to do that much more work in order to make things the very best, not only for him, but for all those around him. That is by far the trait I admire the most, because not only is it rare in the realms of sports entertainment, it is a treasure quality in the broader spectrum of modern society. So tonight, Daniel Bryan, I tip a glass of the finest organic, locally sourced superfood juice to you, to the battles we waged, to the laughter we shared, to the dojo stories, the shared hotel hijinks, to the GB5 crew. It's an inside thing. And most importantly, to your future. Though you may not realize it today, somewhere in the world, a young man or woman is endlessly obsessing over videos displaying your body of work. They are studying your every technique, much like yourself, while you studied the masters of our past. But most important of all, they are filled with an uncontainable optimism at the path you have paved before them. My greatest wish for you is that, though it may seem unimaginable, I truly hope you find as much love and passions in the next phase in your life as you have had for wrestling, because I know for a fact whatever endeavor is fortunate enough to have your attentions will prosper endlessly because of you. See you down the road, Samoa Joe.
Very well written by Samoa Joe. Some great words there that obviously a character limit cannot contain. And one thing that I will try to do, and Matt, if he comes across some too, is maybe put together those thoughts from wrestlers, and we can let you know through our podcast kind of what some others had to say, and hopefully do that for you next week on Lost in the Midcard, which will be a week from Thursday on the 18th of February. A former Tough Enough competitor has made his NXT debut, and our favorite from Tough Enough by far, Patrick Clark, he made his debut against Riddick Moss. And report from a subscriber at PW Insider, he described the match, or Riddick Moss had defeated Patrick Clark, described the match as relatively short, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Patrick looked good in there. He looks like he belongs, and I'm interested to see more out of him. The match itself was fine. Hoping to see some more. So it'd be interesting. Kind of curious. One thing I kind of missed or didn't mention there was kind of the reaction he got from the crowd, and I would imagine it'd be pretty positive considering he was on Tough Enough. So keep up the work, Patrick, because Lost in the Midcard is definitely rooting for you.
Amen to that.
Ring of Honor is we're going to cover Ring of Honor, Total Divas. We got burning questions about AJ Styles, and then we will talk about the Monday Night Raw that just had occurred. Ring of Honor this weekend on
we're going to make mistakes tonight, people. On this show, so just bear with us, and
thankfully the show's almost over, so we can sit back and take a deep breath, and then put together and try to kind of put together some things to talk about when it's not as emotional about Daniel Bryan.
I honestly just appreciate everybody right now that sticking with us and listening through our ramblings tonight, because it's not easy, and I know a lot of people, a lot of our listeners feel the same way we feel right now. So,
I told Matt this. I go, he didn't agree with me, but I go, it's almost a good thing we're recording tonight to just get our true emotion.
I completely disagree with that.
I said it was a good idea just because we can get we could just come right off of of the speech from Daniel Bryan and talk about it. And yeah, Matt didn't agree with me.
No,
but
JB's just looking for any reason to remove the heat off of him that he's going on vacation tomorrow.
yeah,
That's all it is.
hey, I said I'm not the heel. It's Mother Nature. Damn it.
Oh yeah.
We continued the tease of Saban and Shelley as Frankie Kazarian from The Addiction takes on Alex Shelley in a very good match. Saban was on commentary, basically failing to even mention Shelley and acting like he doesn't even know the guy. But a very good match between the two guys. Obviously, Christopher Daniels still on the old suspension list, which I've heard he is going to be lifted from very soon. Some interesting thing I've never seen on Ring of Honor, and I've been with Ring of Honor for almost a year now, watching intently and being a big fan and wondering why I didn't do it from beginning. But thankfully, I found that I can record that on the DVR thanks to Sinclair. But an interesting thing in mid-match that Steve Corino calls in and talks to Kevin Kelly and Nigel and says that he is going to BJ Whitmer next week. And so it'll be kind of interesting to see what kind of happens there because, of course, Carino is, kayfabe on suspension as well for what he did with the old roll of quarters. And in the end there, Alex Shelley gets the win as apparently, I'm assuming, we're building up to Alex Shelley and Saban at the anniversary show. But I don't know, Matt. I mean, the anniversary show is just less than 2 weeks away, so... You think this would be a late ad, or?
It's right around the corner. I know ROH filmed a ton of TV over the weekend, and it's my dumbass that, of course, didn't go out of the way to look for the results. Actually, I'm looking at them right now, so I'm not going to answer your question.
Okay, sure. Baby Tista. There was a minor Baby Tista chant at this taping.
Dude, there was some. I want to come back to Baltimore. We were big on the Baby Tista chants.
I don't know why they are calling Joey Diesel now not it was Jay Diesel.
He was originally Jay Diesel.
Now it's Joey Diesel Diego.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Whatever.
That's a mouthful of fucks. He takes on my guy, the Peacock. The Party Peacock, Dalton Castle with the boys, and Diego, Baby Tista, not much of a challenge for Dalton Castle. The Bangarang for the 3 count. After the match, Silas Young comes out, so I guess Silas Young and Dalton Castle are still going to feud. He comes out to address Brent and Brendan. He calls the boys by their real names, tells them he's been teaching them to be men, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, out of nowhere in the Beer City Bruiser probably do not belong in the same sentence, but the Beer City Bruiser shows up, grabs the boys from behind as Silas hits Castle with the mic and then Misery on him as well. He says, the boys have been given opportunities and disappointed him today. You have a choice to become men or stay boys. The boys attack Young and Bruiser, but it didn't take long for the two to take control to send them to out the ring. And so apparently we still get this going on. I don't know, unless it's the boys get involved and the boys take on Beer City Bruiser and Castle. But oh my God, them boys weigh like $110. They make Colby Carino look like a muscular man.
A little bit.
Third of 4 first round matches. A lot of numbers there. Third of 4 first round matches for the Top Prospect tournament. This one was Leon St. Giovanni against Action Ortiz, and I thought Giovanni had some pretty cool moves there, Matt. It appeared to me that Action Ortiz needs to work on his cardio a little bit, though.
Yeah, Ring of Honor is a different beast when you get in there, so that's to be expected from somebody coming in from the independents trying to work the Ring of Honor style. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, but still, Action Ortiz looked impressive for his size, and Kevin Kelly rightfully kind of compared him to Bam Bam Bigelow, who was probably the first true big man to do some moves that big men never did before. And Ortiz, trained by Tommy Dreamer as well, and gets the win. He advances into the semifinals, and we will have one more semifinal match next week, and that involves Leo. What's his last name? Matt?
Leo Rush, the
Leo
former
Rush.
tag team partner of Patrick Clark.
At Maryland Championship Wrestling.
Correct.
So be exciting to see him go at it. And apparently the other guy's pretty well accomplished too in a short amount of time, so it'll be pretty fun. We get back from commercial. Stokely Hathaway is at ringside with Kevin Kelly, saying that 2016 is the year of the Moose, and he is going to start out on top. They are challenging Okada to a match at Anniversary. Matt, hell yeah.
On the Battle of the Dropkicks, that's what it's going to be. Because Moose throws a hell of a drop kick.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you that's what this match is going to be. It's going to be a drop kick battle.
Great addition to the card. I'm looking forward to seeing it because I've never seen it before. And it's been a while since I've seen Okada in Ring of Honor. Obviously, we saw him at Wrestle Kingdom, just completely tearing the house down. Main event of the evening: Rhett Titus, Kenny King, All Night Express take on Hanson and Rowe. War Machine. Little more competitive than I thought it would be, Matt. I thought War Machine was just going to plow through them, but I wasn't excited going into this match just because All Night Express hasn't excited me yet.
You haven't really seen them.
Yeah, debuting, it was kind of cool, but I haven't really caught on quite yet. But now I see this ended in a disqualification, and where they had to set up a table in the ring. They were trying to put War Machine through it, and instead Rowe with a massive one-handed slam, kind of like what Samoa Joe does. And so that's how Hanson and Rowe got disqualified. And so All Night Express gets the win. So I'm kind of now, I'm a little more excited with this now because now we got kind of a build. We got something to build off of.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they'll probably rematch at Anniversary. Total Divas this week now, since I was a dumbass and didn't email myself the notes, the old first world problems. Quick recap of the week before. Well, Paige looks sexy in a surgical mask. John will marry, but he won't make any little Johnnies. Natty feels guilty for leaving TJ on the road, but TJ says she has to go back on the road. During SummerSlam weekend, they send Natty for an appearance at a cat shelter. Seriously, WWE just loves trolling Natty, don't they?
To me, that would be something she'd want to do, so it didn't really surprise me.
She didn't seem too excited about that, though, like when they were filming that. Nikki and Dolph keep flirting. Yeah, Nikki doesn't want that. Right. Natty was told that she's being left out of the crowd for NXT, so that makes her upset. She was, I guess, going to be shown in the front row at Brooklyn ahead of the women's match. And John Cena continues to be a cool dude, hanging out with a bunch of Make-A-Wish kids at Dave & Buster's. It was pretty cool seeing him play some games with all the kids. And then Nikki sees how John is good with those kids, and but he doesn't want to make any little Johnnies. And finally, from last week, Paige at SummerSlam, she acts like dead weight for Foxy. So Foxy says, well, fuck you, I'm going to give you a stiff kick in the back. But then they make up afterwards. And I still don't know what that fight was about, Matt. Fuck.
I don't know. Who knows?
We fast forward to this past Tuesday, where Natty's having a party for TJ since the WWE is coming to Florida. So and she's giving out jobs, and the job of greeter goes to Anvil. So that's a good job for Anvil. Eva Marie is back, and I again did not watch last season of Total Divas, but Matt, it didn't end well last time she was on there, huh?
No, she's got reality heat. Because I don't know. I refuse to believe that there's any type of legitimately real heat here.
She's got kayfabe reality heat.
Yeah.
She meets in private with Bella as it all goes well. And I guess, Matt, if you have an argument with someone in the Divas division, you unfollow them from social media.
I can't believe I unfollowed you on Instagram.
Oh my god, fucking high school. Carano is calling a mandatory meeting, and that kind of scares the Divas because usually it's very good news or very bad news. Well, for us, it's very good news because Carano introduces and announces that Mandy Rose has signed a 5-year deal to be the newest diva, and she'll be going on the road this week, which, in a negative tone, Paige says, she isn't going to be wrestling, is she? And then Carano, we know what we're doing.
So shut your face, Paige.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
And they flash back to Tough Enough where Paige and Mandy famously clashed. Well, more like Paige said, fuck, I don't like this chick. And, the Miz saved her, right?
Twice.
Isn't that right? Miz saved her from being eliminated.
So the funny thing that people don't remember about that is he saved her twice. Because he saved her from out of the bottom 3 the first time. And then the following week, before they announced the bottom 3, Miz told her that he was putting her in the bottom 3. And so that's why when it was Bryan and Paige's turn to put somebody in the bottom 3, they put in somebody else. And then when Miz announced who he was putting in the bottom 3 at the last, he didn't put her in there and he put somebody else in. I don't even remember who he put in. But, yeah, I mean, legitimately, Miz saved her twice.
Yeah, because he prevented them from choosing her.
Yep, exactly.
Eva Marie is happy for Mandy as she's no longer the newest diva, so she thinks some of those targets will get off of her back. Says that she wants to tag together, and that'd be so awesome. And we have 3 older brothers who are super protective. Oh, we're part Italian. Oh my God, we're so much the same, Matt. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Carano has huge national endorsement for the Bellas, but Brie is not doing it as it's against her beliefs. I'm assuming this is a Carl's Jr. ad where.
That's the only thing I can assume. I don't think they ever mentioned it by name. But I have to imagine that's what it was.
Yeah. So Nikki's going to be in some scantily clad and mayo and ketchup all over her.
Or they decided they didn't want to use her because they wanted the twins. Because we haven't seen anything come out of this. So unless they're doing something that unless they have a marketing campaign that will roll out for WrestleMania season, maybe they decided since they didn't get the twin gimmick, they didn't want to do it.
Or since this is probably staged anyways, they're waiting to do it until after Total Divas airs, you know?
Maybe.
So
Who knows?
Back to TJ's house, and unfortunately we see Cesaro in the ring on TJ's television because we miss Cesaro. Nikki and Brie talk about the commercial. I don't know what they're doing something in the backyard. And the best part of that was Josie wigging out. Josie's so cute. It is party time at TJ's. Cesaro shows up, and a cat got out already because we're laughing about that because R-Truth is deathly scared of cats.
Of course he is.
And something's on fire in the kitchen. Everything's going wrong, Matt, all at the same time. You think it's scripted the way it's coming out, and all of a sudden I'm turning into Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Nikki and John talk about Brie's decisions, and John has a level head about it.
What else is new? That's John to a T on this show. Yeah, he's always the guy with the level head with the sound advice.
He's the sage wisdom man.
Which the whole thing. Let's comment on John real quick.
Okay.
As I said, I've been watching Total Divas from the beginning. You skipped out on it a lot, but here's why I think this whole marriage and kids thing with Nikki's will work. Because you went from the beginning insisting no marriage, no kids. Okay. Now all of a sudden you change your mind to marriage okay, kids not okay. So around season 8 or 9 of Total Divas, John's gonna be okay with everything, right? Yeah. That's where we're going with this, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to me that Mr. Make a Wish doesn't want a kid. It doesn't. Yeah. It just makes absolutely no sense to me at all. So
that's because it's fake.
Shut up.
Back to the party, and Natty's sister, she wants her some Big E, doesn't she? That's her sister, right?
Yeah, that was from last season.
She wants some Big E. No, Day Rocks. So what happened last season?
Just them trying to set Natty trying to set her sister up with a Big E.
Oh, and now she doesn't want him to be all over him. Okay.
Well, then obviously in front of the father.
Well, it's Anvil. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your dad? Oh, fuck. But it's Big E, so he'd be like, I could pin him in 2 minutes.
I will break away from Total Divas talk just a minute.
Go for it.
CM Punk just put out a tweet of a photo, a GIF, as you will, of Ring of Honor CM Punk and Ring of Honor Daniel Bryan adhering to the Code of Honor with, it looks to be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat as the special guest referee. So, nice that the Punker, who has, for the most part, left pro wrestling behind. The fact that he's, could go out there and show some dedication to D-Bride tonight, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, definitely. So Steamboat had a part in Ring of Honor, huh?
Oh yeah, he did stuff for them over the years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just cause you jobber.
Yeah. Back to the party. Kofi and Truth show up, and Natty tells Truth, "We gotta liven this party. She asked him to crank this bitch up." I thought that was kind of funny. And another cat gets out, and Truth gets on a chair in the kitchen, and he leaves the house. And then the best part of the party, Truth barricades the doors with rope and chairs. Oh my God, Ron, you're killing me. That was a pun, by the way. The most uncomfortable 5-person car ride ever, Matt, would you say?
Just a little bit. Because
Eva,
Alicia Fox still has to stick up her ass.
Yeah. Eva and Paige talk privately. They kind of bury the hatchet. Paige apologizes as she's recognized how hard Eva has worked. We get back to the party, as we like to bounce back and forth on Total Divas. Truth asks TJ if he's depressed. He says he isn't. Of course, that leads to another TJ and Natty bicker session. And, so TJ's telling her she's clearly not depressed. And then it's the party aftermath, and, oh, look, Natty's sister trying to get a little something for Big E there. Down, girl. Natalie doesn't realize she said TJ's depressed, but obviously we saw it on camera that she said the D word. And so Truth and her have a good talk. It was a good talk, though, from with Truth. So Truth let her know why it was so bad, because it knocks TJ's ego down. And we get back to that 5-person car death ride, and Foxy, once she starts going, it doesn't stop, right? And she isn't on board with Eva yet. As Matt said, she has to stick up her ass. Hey, Mandy, welcome to the WWE, right?
Yeah, welcome to Drama Session 101.
And now she's starting to be second-guess being friends with Eva Marie. Nikki joins Bree for an experienced local meeting. So kind of shows how Nikki is starting to understand Bree more, as they are kind of at odds in regards to this commercial. We go back to the ladies in the car. They head to a makeup place to learn how things are made and do some marketing with them. And once again, Mandy having reservations on Eva Marie after talking with Foxy. It's just like high school, but with paychecks.
Well, there you go.
And finally, that's basically the Divas division, right? It's just like high school, but with paychecks. And finally, to close Total Divas, Natty surprises TJ with a picnic lunch outside, and everything is good. The funniest thing we learn out of this is TJ talks on the phone with Cesaro for 4 hours at a time sometimes. I don't think I've talked to a man for 4 hours in a row. I don't know if I've talked to a woman for 4 hours in a row on the phone. I'm not a phone talker.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm not a big phone call guy. There's several ways you can get a hold of me. By the actual telephone, like by actual, talking on it. Probably the most difficult way to attempt to get a hold of me. That just doesn't work.
Before we get to Raw from tonight, as we record right after Raw, some burning questions I've got for Matt in regards to AJ Styles. AJ Styles has now been in the WWE for a couple weeks now. First one, Matt, are you happy with the direction that he's gone so far in the WWE? I've seen reports where guys such as Mike Johnson, a guy we trust, be a little worried. Are you that worried?
Not
or
nearly as worried as he is.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that right now. When he did the at a crossroads editorial, I was like, wow, Mike, you're panicking a little too quickly here.
He's seen it done before, though.
I know, so. I agree. We've seen it done before, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as Mike's article made it out to be. I mean, it's not like the guy. Let's knock on wood. It's not like the guy's lost a match yet.
No.
He might have by the next time we record this show, but I mean, they're treating him as important. They're not, they're not burying him.
No.
So
I do wish they'd let him talk, but just be patient.
I'm okay with him not talking yet. He'll talk when they'll talk when he has something to talk about. To be honest, has he really had anything to truly talk about yet?
Not outside of just introducing himself.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly. When it's time to talk, he'll talk. So I'm not really worried about that yet.
You had reservations about him still being undefeated after basically we're talking about SmackDown tapings tomorrow.
Yep.
My gut feeling is it's going to be a no contest. I think The Miz is going to get involved.
It would make sense after tonight.
I would
assume at that point, which would lead into a triple threat at Fastlane. So we'll get 2 triple threats at Fastlane instead of 1.
I was just asking you, or this isn't on my burning questions, but do you at this point with what happened tonight? Are you okay with a triple threat, or you'd still rather have Jericho and Styles 1-on-1?
Honestly, I didn't want Jericho and Styles number 2 to begin with. When they signed it, I'm like, I've already seen it. I don't really have the desire to see this match again.
Well, that does roll into my second question. Do you think Jericho is a good choice for AJ's feud? And for obviously Jericho, they're mostly now at this part of his career putting people over.
Well, I truly hope to God that their match on SmackDown clicks better than their match on Raw did. I mean, and it wasn't awful, but it was good. I still feel Jericho. It seemed like Jericho was off a step. It really felt like something was wrong with Jericho that night. So I'm hoping part 2 on SmackDown is like a shit ton better. I mean, I don't know. We'll find out.
Now you might know more on this than I do. So I'm basically asking you this as an editorial question, but maybe you might know more than this. But was Miz getting his teeth knocked out on SmackDown? Was that a work or a shoot?
It's a shoot.
Okay. I was wondering if Miz maybe had something like that done before, or like had done something like that done before to him, so they kind of.
If you put a gun to my head and I have to be right, I'm saying it was a shoot.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had heard anything on that or not.
Nothing other than what I saw afterwards.
Yeah. Who is a good choice for AJ at WrestleMania at this point? Not a dream matchup, but a realistic. This could be who they set him up with, and you would be happy with it.
Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm. Would it be smart to debut Finn Balor, just before WrestleMania to challenge AJ?
No.
Okay. We'll save that.
I think AJ is going to be allowed to start talking when Gallows and Anderson show up. That's my like eventually he's gonna have backup who's gonna show up. They could even do this at Fastlane. They could have Gallows and Anderson, jump the rail during a triple threat where there's no DQ or whatever, and they can just lay everybody out.
That'd be fun.
And they could do something along those lines. And yeah, there's several things they can do. I mean, I am not by any stretch of the imagination panicked over AJ Styles' booking yet. Obviously they see a merchandise seller in him. WWE Shop already previewed the zip up hoodie that they're going to be selling on the store soon. AJ, for the first time since he's been on WWE programming, I believe, had the gloves back that you pulled together and has the Phenomenal One logo, which I can only imagine will also be sold soon on WWE.
Oh, yeah.
You know, anything that can make the company money, and the amount of money that they paid him for this contract, they didn't bring him in to like fuck him over. It's too much money spent on his contract, for them to, you know, hurt him for. So I just think everybody's worrying right now when they don't really need to, and I think everything will start to actually pick up when Gallus and Anderson show up. I think that's what they're waiting for.
If I wasn't like a reader of news and stuff, I would have been perfectly fine with the way things have gone too.
Yeah, I think honestly, we've become such diehard fans at times. We want to overanalyze everything, and I really don't think there's a whole lot here to overanalyze at the moment. And I think people are just panicking for the sake of panicking. And if Aaron Rodgers was here, I think he would tell everybody to relax.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Mr. Discount Double Check's advice, and you know, just relax on any worry of AJ Styles' push right now, because I think he's all right.
And my AJ Styles shirt came in the mail today. Woo!
Mine should be here soon. I got the buy two get one deal with Asuka's Tomorrow Brings Danger shirt last week. So, and
I'm happy I bought that Daniel Bryan shirt that was on sale. I'm going to be wearing that tomorrow to work.
Yeah, did you see did you see the shirt they put out
no.
on there tonight? It's kind of like the shirt you have,
mm-hmm.
But it says thank you, like above Daniel Bryan's image, and on the back it like lists all of his WWE accomplishments. It's pretty nice.
Nice. This Raw, obviously, in Seattle, Washington. We kick off with a great video package of Daniel Bryan. Great, at the same time, very sad video package for us. We kick off the show with, oh boy, Stephanie McMahon. But thankfully, Stephanie was not really in the ring for too long, right, Matt?
Oh, dude, I just wanted to punch her. I just didn't care. Raw kicked off, and I'm like, you know, you kick it off with the Daniel Bryan package. Like, the last thing I wanted to do was hear from Stephanie McMahon. Yeah. After I'm like, oh my god, just get the fuck out of the ring. I don't want to hear your shit right now. You know, and it just, yeah. Yeah,
she's in the ring with the old black carpet and the table. Contract signing for the main event at Fastlane. And, well, before she can really say too much, the fans started saying, she'd say the winner was going to face her husband, Triple H, at WrestleMania. And that's when we got our heavy Daniel Bryan chance. And she decides to be a heel and says, you guys are all confused. I think it was a weed reference.
I don't know what the reference was. I thought it was stupid.
Interrupting her was Dean Ambrose, and that made the crowd pop. Because, then Stephanie has to shut up. And then she tried to talk again, and then Roman Reigns came. And then, finally, we get Brock Lesnar. And, again, how we hate Stephanie, she cuts off a Paul Heyman promo. Motherfuck. Dean Ambrose, he wants him a piece of Brock Lesnar after the F5 that he got last week on Raw. He goes and faces Brock Lesnar. They have a couple of words before Brock Lesnar just lifts him up and throws him across the ring into Roman Reigns. And then Lesnar clocks Roman with the table. He hit him pretty damn good, at least. It looked
like a stiff shot.
And then another F5 for Dean Ambrose. And so Lesnar... What was cool about this, Matt, was he did that table shot F5 like so fucking quick and left the ring. I was like, that just like a tornado went through, right? That's pretty impressive.
Look at you and your play on words.
First thing we see in regards to Daniel Bryan video packages is first episode of NXT where Miz is his pro, and a great main event for that episode of NXT where Daniel Bryan took on Chris Jericho. Again, Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. I don't mind it because they have had great matches, and this was no exception. It was a good match, but this time Ziggler uses the ropes to cheat. So I don't know what the count is, Matt, but I was telling Matt this earlier ago. I think it's kind of a best of 5, but they're not really just telling us it's a best of 5.
I don't care. I think, honestly, both of these guys are being wasted in this feud. Because I don't think it's helping either guy. So, whatever. I don't care. You're doing absolutely nothing to make me care about this feud right now, and oh well.
After the match, it was announced that the New Day will face the Usos in a tables match, and that Chris Jericho will be on Miz TV.
I can't tell you how excited I was about that.
They see footage. They show footage of Daniel Bryan from Night of Champions in 2010, where he gets his first singles gold as he defeated The Miz to become U.S. champion. The Usos are in the back, putting on each other's face paint. The Dudleys enter in and say, how can they have a table match without the Dudleys in it? So then they said, well, if the Authority can agree to it, well, you guys can join right in. So we'll see what happens there. Charlotte with Ric Flair. After that, or before that, we had a video package showing Ryback, who now is ditched the RVD singlet into black trunks.
Ryberg.
At least tonight they had, at least there's writing on the trunks tonight. On SmackDown last week, they were completely black, and I'm like, what the?
Yeah,
Goldberg, hello?
Did you see his tweet that he put out about that?
No.
Oh my god! Let me see if he's infamous for deleting his tweets. So let me see if it's still here. Scrolling down.
Charlotte took on.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Okay, go ahead.
New trunks finally done, so don't worry, Marks. Stone Cold Ryberg won't have to wear plain trunks.
Stone Cold Ryberg. That's good.
So, yep.
Non-title match, Charlotte takes on Alicia Fox. Not quite a squash match. Alicia got some great offense in there, but figure 8 makes Alicia tap out. And then next up is Miz TV, but before that, it is official 8-man tag match. Dudleys and Usos will take on the New Day and a partner of their choosing. Miz shows up for Miz TV. He wants, before he brings out Jericho, he wants to get something off his chest, and talks about AJ Styles and how AJ Styles knocks some teeth off the Moneymaker, and calls him a redneck rookie again, and all that. And
well, before Jericho comes out, I think I have an answer to a question you had earlier, which I accidentally just stumbled upon.
Okay.
Going back through a tweet from Kevin Owens, which just ran through a couple other backwards tweets from Dash and Dawson. Triple H sent out a tweet 5 days ago. It said, it's official. NXT Cleveland and NXT Columbus, the week of ASF 2016, are sold out. The NXT road trip rolls on. We are NXT. To which Dash from Dash and Dawson retweeted it and said, hashtag the revival rolls on. So maybe Dash and Dawson are the revival. So
which
I think there's our answer. Revival of maybe old school tag team wrestling, something along those lines. But I think by accident I just stumbled into the answer. The revival are Dash and Dawson. So
nice
there you
detective
go.
Work. Nice detective work there, Matt.
Yeah,
that makes sense. The revival, obviously their main comparison is Arn and Tully from the Four Horsemen. And they've kind of, instead of shaking that off, they've taken it to heart, and I think they've even stepped it up to where they've become even more of a throwback than they originally were, which is great. I love that team. Jericho comes out on Miz TV and says they want to see the highlight reel, not Miz TV. And I thought it was hilarious that all these ring workers get in and instantly transform the ring from Miz TV to the highlight reel. I thought that was funny. Matt probably didn't, but that's okay.
I'm tired of the talk show gimmick.
Yeah.
I'm really tired and burnt out on the talk show gimmick.
We're getting it every week.
And the only thing that might have popped me on it is if it would have been the old highlight reel rug with the Jericho logo and the film reel like he used to have when he did the highlight reel. If they would have rolled that out, I might have popped. But I mean, it really would have been more about the rug than the segment.
So you didn't pop at the potted plant?
I did not pop at the potted plant. I kind of facepalmed instead of all the continuity WWE chooses to ignore. They choose to remember the freaking stole in the fucking potted plant.
Well, it led to JBL calling Saxton a potted plant, so that was kind of funny. For JBL, it was funny for JBL standards.
Fucking JBL.
AJ comes to the ring. They all have a little brouhaha. Actually, Styles and Jericho worked together to dispose of Miz, and then Miz came back in, and they worked together again, and then a little bit of a standoff. Then they go to commercial. Daniel Bryan winning the 2011 Money in the Bank ladder match, and then subsequent cash at TLC against the Big Show.
Yay!
Stone Cold Ryberg takes on Bray Wyatt.
Could that be our new name for him from now on?
I'm gonna try to remember it. If not, you correct me, please.
Stone Cold Ryberg. He coined that, not us. So this is on you, Ryback. That is now your official name on Lost in the Midcard. You are Stone Cold Ryberg.
Ryback got a little bit of offense in, but obviously with the three goons with Bray Wyatt, good news is not going to come. Ryback was going for the meat hook clothesline, and I thought that was a good transition into Sister Abigail. I thought that was pretty badass, and that ended the match abruptly. And then after that, every Wyatt takes their turn on Stone Cold Ryberg. Eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I can say that fast, but I have to kind of slow.
Yeah, it's a slow build on that.
Or I'm going to be like, Stone Cold! I mean, Stone Cold!
What was the point of the video package for him? Are we fucking serious right now? You know,
to hype up his match with Goldberg at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, but yeah, okay, but if you're good before the match, I could agree with that.
I don't see Goldberg wrestling anymore.
But why the fuck? If they did, look, let's just say, for argument's sake, they got him. Goldberg's coming in. He's going to work Ryback at WrestleMania. Why the fuck did you just bury Ryback?
Yeah, I don't understand the burial, but I know why they did the video package is to reintroduce him again because he's wearing different. Clothes.
Well, the burial would have made more sense without the video package.
I know.
It was the rehype video package followed by the beatdown burial that 2 + 2 made absolutely no sense. Like I can kind of see where it looks like they're going because they took out Kane and they took out the Big Show and now they took out the Ryback.
4-on-4.
Yeah, we're gonna get some kind of 4-on-4 Wyatt family versus these three guys and somebody else in Fastlane. But who the hell are they gonna get? Is it gonna be Goldberg? Is Goldberg gonna be the fourth guy? And then he gets mad and jackhammers Ryberg for wearing his gear.
What about Baron Corbin? Sounds like he's been off the table for a promotion though, but never know. That could change at the drop of a hat. Is there anybody else that they've been decimated? Big Show, Kane, Ryback.
It's Kane, Big Show, Ryback. There's nobody else.
You
know, I like unless you'd have bring the Undertaker back.
I doubt it.
For Fastlane, which I mean, kind of diminishes his WrestleMania appearance.
I doubt it. I doubt they'll do that. Well, who's he going to face now? Strowman's definitely off the cards.
Thank you, Internet, for your reaction.
Yeah,
by the
no
way,
shit.
because you saved myself and JB from having to watch that monstrosity in Dallas. And you probably saved however many short matches the Undertaker has left in his career by not having to step into the ring one-on-one with Braun Strowman.
Braun Greenman.
Yeah, I don't give a shit what people like. I know people are saying, "Oh, he's much better than WWE's allowing him to show on TV right now." I don't give a fuck until you show me that. I don't want him in the ring with the older stars that he could accidentally hurt and ruin their damn career. I want nothing to do with it. You have to show me before I can acknowledge that. Everything I keep hearing about the Undertaker at WrestleMania is people are saying that you're not going to be able to guess who his opponent is. So I don't know. I'm assuming
if I go down the whole roster, eventually I'll guess it.
or it's somebody not on the roster right now.
Who would that be?
Dude, I told you a couple weeks ago who I would have done.
Was that Corbin?
Fucking Nakamura.
Oh, Nakamura. Oh,
that's who I would have done.
Yeah,
Nakamura and the Undertaker in Dallas.
You think he's gonna work both Dallas?
I don't. Yeah. That's why I took it off the table when they booked him with Sami Zayn. I don't think he's gonna work both. I would have said Kevin Owens would have been perfect for the Undertaker, but they just had him lose 2 weeks in a row to Dolph Ziggler. Yeah. And normally the people that they're building up for the Undertaker at WrestleMania don't lose going up to the match at WrestleMania.
I still, my first gut feeling when John Cena got hurt was Samoa Joe. I'm going to assume Balor comes out the champion on the other side because Balor is not getting promoted, at least not yet.
I don't believe that.
I don't know. Balor doesn't want to, and they still they have.
Dude, I believe if he's healthy,
who's going to lead the NXT train then?
They got Samoa Joe's going to lead the NXT train.
He's on the main roster.
Oh, he's not going to be on the main roster. If they put the NXT Championship on him, he ain't coming up. Yeah.
Big E's cleaning the table, singing a song. I thought that was kind of funny.
Working on the table or whatever the hell they were singing.
It's like it was like working on the coal mine, but he's working on the table. And Renee Young asked him about the 8-man tag match, and Xavier says it can't be 8-man. There's only 3 of them. Big E says we'll find a 4th man. And Kofi says we're like the Broncos because you got to mention the Super Bowl. Why not? And then Big E goes back to singing. Dean and Roman are backstage. Dean says he tells Roman that it does not matter what Brock does to him, he's getting a piece of him. And he reminds of what happened to himself. Roman does, but Dean says he doesn't need his help. Dean says Brock is his tonight. Roman says, all right, man, have at him. And then we go back to the ring, and it's time for the Social Outcast. And did you notice Jericho was wearing a Social Outcast shirt at the end of Raw tonight?
Did you notice that Kevin Owens was wearing a New Day Rock shirt at the end of Raw tonight?
Yes, I did. I was getting there, too. That's funny. And the band is back together. Bo Dallas has rejoined them, as I had mentioned on. Again, let's go back to last week's Lost In The Midcard. I apologize for the audio issues, and you had to turn up your headphones because I did something to screw that up, so I apologize.
And I apologize for not being here.
I think I know what I did wrong, and unfortunately I can't undo it, so you'll just have to turn up the audio way loud, and I apologize. So we got Heathy Baby is going to take on actually, it's Adam Rose.
You jabroni.
He says Heathy Baby.
Yes, he says Heathy Baby, but Heathy Baby wasn't facing Titus O'Jobber.
Titus O'Neil gets pinned by Adam Rose, so now we got maybe a little bit of momentum for the Social Outcasts. How about that?
Yes, sure.
Matt believes it. The next one is for Daniel Bryan is SummerSlam 2013 when Bryan won the title, and they didn't show the jobbing part where he lost it 5 seconds later, but
good.
I digress.
So pissed walking out of that building.
Dean Ambrose.
I was so pissed walking out of that building. You were there too, weren't you? Were you there for that year?
SummerSlam.
The year he cashed in,
Oh,
and
I was with you guys in 11 when Del Rio cashed in.
okay, so I was pissed walking out of that one too.
Yeah,
God,
when Del Rio
they had a great history of just pissing me off at SummerSlam.
Yeah, when Kevin Nash out of nowhere comes to attack Punk, we're like, what?
Oh my god. I wanted to kick him in the dick.
You know, I think that's what started my sinus infection as I was leaving LA was the end of that show. But hey, at least I can say I saw a cash in at the very first pay-per-view I ever attended. So
I've seen I know for a fact right off the top of my head, I have seen at least 4 separate cash-ins live.
nice.
I saw the Del Rio cash-in on Punk. I saw the Orton cash-in on Bryan. I saw the Bryan cash-in on Big Show. And I saw the Rollins cash-in at WrestleMania. I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen any other ones, but I've heard off the top of my head with 100% certainty, I can say that I've seen 4 cash-ins live, which is kind of crazy to think about that. So
my perfect streak will end at this WrestleMania for me seeing cash-ins at a pay-per-view because there won't be one this year.
no, most certainly not.
One of the highlights of the night, Dean Ambrose getting mic time, which is something that is not as much as they should because Ambrose is great on the mic. He heads to the ring and says he wants to know what Brock gave him earlier. Was it an F2 or an F3? Because he thought an F5 was supposed to hurt. And he tells Brock to come out and try again, and this time put some stank on it. And then Dean says, well, maybe Triple H was right, and Suplex City is going soft. Or is that a personal thing, too? Can you get it up for the big fight? What was that good line? Maybe he's come up a little too short or something like that.
I don't remember the exact line.
Then he goes, well, he knows that Paul Heyman is his advocate, but he didn't know that Paul was required to hold Brock's balls. Is that the first time balls has been used on TV PG Raw?
No.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure John Cena's probably made a double entendre with balls before. Anyways, the balls comment. We're talking about balls so much you think we're talking about Balls Mahoney, but no. Brock's music comes out, and Ambrose tries to bring the attack to Lesnar, but Lesnar then charges him into the apron, beats him up a little bit, gives him an F5, and as Brock leaves the ring, Ambrose kind of has a smile on his face, says, hey, come on, give me some more. Brock says, all right, fuck you. He goes back to the ring, but then Roman Reigns' music hits. And as Roman Reigns is staring Brock Lesnar down, old Dean gives him the old ding-ding shot. So for the second time in less than 6 months, Brock gets hit in the ding-ding. And Matt, what was it? It's his Achilles heel, isn't it?
Pretty much.
The only way to take out Lesnar is a ding-ding shot. So there you go. I thoroughly enjoyed that segment. It made me just it made me just get me more excited for the main event at Fastlane. Sin Cara back in action after a shoulder injury, reuniting with Kalisto. Lucha Dragons take on Del Rio and Rusev from the League of Nations. No Sheamus yet, as he's still arm in a cast to kind of ease his tendonitis in his arm there. So, and Wade Barrett still kind of nursing his injuries, so he's not getting involved either. But a fairly decent match between these guys, and Del Rio and Rusev getting over here. Now you were telling me here, Matt, on Twitter, you're like, okay, here ends the push with Kalisto. But League of Nations got over here, so do you change your mind now that they got beat tonight?
How?
No. So you think Del Rio's going to take the title from him here?
I don't know. I got mixed feelings on the whole gimmick Schneebitz for them.
Burn him. We are outside of the EMP Museum in Seattle, and R-Truth is talking on the phone, and he sees Goldust dressed as Jimi Hendrix. And then Goldust gets taken off by security, so the Golden Truth is still up in the air.
Can we just tag them already and end these segments?
Sasha Banks comes out to the ring, and she'll be on commentary, and woo! Sasha was looking fine, mighty fine, mighty fine. And as we go to commercial, we show footage of one of the greatest moments on Raw history in 2014 when Daniel Bryan had the Occupy Raw, and that was a lot of fun to watch. And that was when finally Daniel Bryan broke Triple H's will, and Daniel Bryan got himself a match with Triple H at WrestleMania. Tamina against Becky Lynch, and basically a lot of tomfoolery and chicanery, and that's basically what you need for Tamina to get the win. And yes, she does get the win. So if you had a Tamina in your fantasy pool this week, you probably made some money. New Day is talking about the power of positivity and how he's a ladies' man. And if you put that unicorn horn on, it'll be even more. And it's Mark Henry. Mark Henry asked for Francesca, and Xavier's reactions were just gold, weren't they, Matt? It's like somebody's playing Francesca, and it's not me.
Yeah, I had a really hard time finding the humor in a lot of stuff from Raw tonight, for obvious reasons. Normally, I really enjoy the New Day segments and the stuff like that, but I don't know. I didn't really laugh at anything.
Couldn't get down with it this week.
Yeah, I didn't really laugh at anything on Raw tonight.
8-man tag match, which basically most of it was during commercial. But the big thing here, Usos and Dudleys win, but the Dudleys turn heel, which is more than what was needed, as the Dudleys have been kind of stagnant. I would guess you would agree there, Matt?
Yeah, the heel turn was needed. Taz even talked about it on the Taz show on Monday, that he felt the heel turn was needed for the Dudley boys, and yeah, he called it. Taz knows what he's talking about, people.
Yep. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where they go from there. It's obviously going to make them more interesting. So, and of course, we got our famous comment, do you know who we are? Now, we see the Daniel Bryan video package, and they go to commercial, and right at 10 o'clock Central, I think, they show all the media coverage of Daniel Bryan's retirement, and to no surprise, Daniel Bryan comes out to a gigantic pop, and he gets the yes chants going right away. You can tell right away, Daniel Bryan, very emotional. A good few minutes where he just stood in the ring and let it all sink in with various yes chants, Daniel Bryan chants, all sorts of chants for Daniel Bryan. The first time they spoke on the mic, he said he is just now able to close his eyes and feel that. He mentions how they've always got to keep their eyes open when they're in the ring, and this is the first time he's ever closed his eyes and was able to feel the WWE Universe and hit their chants for him, and he says he'll never forget that feeling. Now it's time for Daniel to address the big elephant in the room, and we all think, oh, his retirement. No, he's talking about how he did not want to shave his beard, but he cut his hair and thought his beard just looked ridiculous with his cut hair. He mentioned he cut his hair for Wigs for Kids, which got a rousing ovation. He talked about the organization and how he donated his hair for kids who are cancer patients, and they receive none of the cost for that. So it's pretty cool what Daniel Bryan did there. I wonder if he sold his beard on eBay, though. I wonder how much that would get. Some rich fan would pay out the ass for that. I guarantee it.
Some weirdo.
Daniel Bryan says he does not wanting to be doing this as much as the people do not want him to do it. He says he's been wrestling since he was 18 years old, and within the first 5 months of his wrestling career, he had already had 3 concussions, and he would get even more concussions here and there. After 16 years, that added up to a lot of concussions and got to the point where they tell you cannot wrestle anymore. For a long time, he fought that because he had gotten EEGs, brain MRIs, and other tests that said he was fine and he could come back and wrestle. Daniel Bryan says was training and the WWE wanted him, as if the WWE wanted him back at a moment's notice. He was ready to wrestle. But a week and a half ago, as we had mentioned on Lost in the Midcard earlier in the show here, that he took the test and saw that maybe his brain is not okay as he thought it was, and he has a family to think about, his wife and him, and they want to have kids soon. Then that led to the yes chant, and Daniel Bryan then says, "That's what Bree says all the time." And that got a big laugh from the universe, and that even got a holy shit chant from the universe, and then that led into a "that's what she said" chant from the universe, so that was kind of funny. Daniel says it is with a heavy heart and almost sadness that he has to officially announce his retirement. But there is one thing. He says he's been angry, sad, and frustrated. However, when he woke up this morning, he felt nothing but gratitude, a hashtag that he used in his retirement announcement. Daniel says he's got to do what he loves for nearly 16 years. Then he goes into wanting to talk about a few things that he loves. Obviously, the Seahawks, which got a gigantic pop from the crowd. He also loves right before his music hits, no matter how he feels, no matter how tired, how injured he is, when that music hits, it brings a smirk to his face. He says he loves hitting the ropes and diving through them, kind of emulates him diving through the ropes and standing there in between the ropes, saying how it makes him feel like Superman. Daniel then goes on to say he's wrestled in a parking lot of gas stations and then in front of 70,000 people at WrestleMania in New Orleans. He says that he loves to have met a monster. He says he loves that he's met a monster who is the smartest person he knows in Kane. He said he met a man who was his mentor and a friend for more than 16 years in William Regal. He's gotten to meet children who are stronger than he ever would have thought, like Connor. He's grateful that because of wrestling does not owe him anyone or anything in the back anything. WWE does not owe them anything. They do this because they love this. He says it's strange because then it is strange because he did this because he loves to do this. Then you get behind him in a way that he never thought was possible, a way that fans should not necessarily get behind a guy who's 5'8" and 190 pounds. You got behind him in a way that made him felt more than himself. Daniel says he is grateful for that. He says that he is grateful because a little over 2 years ago in this very arena, you guys hijacked Raw. They were trying to do a championship coronation ceremony between John Cena and Randy Orton, and the crowd didn't care. They were chanting for Daniel Bryan the whole time. This is not why he's grateful. He says his dad was sitting in the crowd, and his dad got to see that moment, his son getting that kind of reaction from you people. That was the last time his dad ever saw him wrestle. And that was the point, Matt, where I started tearing up. I held it back for the longest time, but that point right there, man, that put me over the top.
Can't blame you, man. Can't blame you at all.
Daniel says that you, as in the WWE Universe, made it special for his father, for him, and his entire family. Daniel says he's grateful because through wrestling he got to meet the most wonderful woman. She is smart and beautiful and completes him in every way he did not think was possible. He's grateful because he gets to come out there in front of his hometown fans. He gets to announce his retirement in front of a group of people who love him. That special moment he had with his dad, he gets to spend with his mom, his sister, his family, and friends. He gets to share it with them. His wife in the back and the people that spent the last 15 years of his life with. And Daniel says again that he's grateful. Tomorrow morning, Daniel Bryan says he will start a new life, a life where he's no longer a wrestler. That is tomorrow, but not tonight. And damn it, he has one more night to feel his injury, to feel the crowd for one last yes chant. Then Brie Bella enters the ring to celebrate with Daniel Bryan. They go to credits. And that was the end of Raw on USA, which did go way over, I think, about 25 minutes over the hour, I think. And then the WWE picked up the where USA left off, with Daniel Bryan high-fiving the front row of fans all the way around and hugging Vince McMahon. The whole roster comes out on the stage. And there you go, Matt. Obviously a sad situation, Matt, but grateful that he got the time to say what he wanted, and grateful that he got 30 minutes basically to say goodbye, right?
Yeah, I'm glad they gave him the time. I was really annoyed rolling into this segment, looking at the clock, and I was just like, if they cut this short or they rush him in this, I'm going to be so pissed off. And luckily, they didn't. USA gave him the time, and they let him say everything he wanted to say, and I just, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of Lost in the Midcard. As always, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. If you're not doing so, please search for Lost in the Midcard and subscribe to us. We come at you mostly every Thursday and Monday after the pay-per-view. This is a special Tuesday episode, though, since I'm heading out to vacation. We're also on YouTube. Subscribe to us there. And links for both are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. And as we wrap up a very emotional show, Matt, any final thoughts?
God bless Daniel Bryan.
God bless Daniel Bryan. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. And we will catch you in a week from Thursday. Hope you have a good one, folks.